When Germany boss Hansi Flick announced his World Cup squad, there were two names that stood out from the crowd: Youssoufa Moukoko and Jamal Musiala. The only German teenagers on the plane, both have enjoyed spectacular rises in the past few years to earn their spot in Qatar. They headline a list of exceptional talent set to make waves in the Middle East, including Jude Bellingham, Gavi and Eduardo Camavinga. But who are Jamal Musiala and Youssoufa Moukoko, and what makes them so impressive? In this EFD Explained, we're taking a closer look at the rise of Germany's next golden generation. To many England fans, Jamal Musiala's explosion into stardom leaves a bitter sense of what could have been. Despite being born in Stuttgart to a Nigerian father and a German mother, Musiala moved to England at the age of 7. He was based down in Southampton and quickly caught the eye of the Saints. Southampton was so desperate to sign the young prospect to their academy, the club's executive chairman, Nicola Cortese, led talks with the family. However, news had spread of the German sensation, and his mother's desire to live closer to the capital saw Chelsea snap him up. He would spend the next 8 years at Cobham. Musiala was a big hit within Chelsea's academy, then for England at youth level, turning out for the under-15s and under-16 side. And it was during his time as a young three-line that Bayern Munich began to show interest. Aged 15, Musiala was partnered next to Jude Bellingham at a junior tournament for England. Bayern's technical director and former scout Marco Neppe happened to be watching and was blown away by Musiala's ability. He impressed with his incredible touch, skills and movement with those quick dribbles, Neppe told Sky Sports Germany. We immediately had the unanimous opinion that we would do everything we could to bring him to Bayern. 2 years later, and with Musiala's contract with the Blues expiring, Neppe swooped in. Although Chelsea were desperate for him to stay, and impending Brexit meant Musiala's family was seriously considering a return to Germany. Bayern had developed a good relationship with his family over the years of courtship, and ultimately their offer proved too good to resist. When a club like Bayern Munich wants you, you cannot turn it down, Musiala later told Goal. He would cost the Rekordmeister just £180,000. It wasn't long before the 16-year-old's decision to reject the Premier League looked vindicated. After a season in Bayern's academy, he made his professional debut for the second team in the German third tier. Then, in a clash against Freiburg on the 20th of June 2020, Musiala became the youngest player ever to feature in the Bundesliga for Bayern. He was just 17 years and 115 days old, although Paul Vanna did break that record earlier this season. That brief cameo quickly evolved into a more senior role for the young sensation. Hansi Flick, who Musiala has described as a mentor, showed faith in the playmaker over the 2020-21 campaign. He handed him 7 starts and 19 substitute appearances in the league, along with another 6 appearances in Europe. It resulted in 7 goals and 1 assist. Jamal is amazingly good for his age, Joshua Kimmich raved, while Manuel Neuer went one step further, declaring, "The boy is an important part of our team." Musiala was a big hit in his new surroundings, and the likes of Kimmich and Neuer worked hard to convince the teenager they affectionately called Bambi due to his slight frame that Germany was the nation for him. Further persuasion from Joachim Löw meant shortly before his 18th birthday, he made the decision to switch allegiance from England back to the country of his birth. This was quickly followed by his first professional contract at Bayern Munich, worth a reported £4.6 million per season until 2026. Julian Nagelsmann's arrival in the Allianz Arena dugout 2 summers ago saw Musiala moved across the midfield away from the left wing. Although he initially wasn't utilised as often as hoped under the former Leipzig coach, he still hit 50 senior appearances for FCB 4 months before he turned 19. That all changed though following the departure of Robert Lewandowski in the summer. The absence of the Polish goal machine has allowed Nagelsmann to revert towards a more fluid forward line. Musiala now interchanges with the likes of Sadio Mane, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry and Eric Choupo-Moting in a front 4, and the results have been devastating. This season, the 19-year-old has already scored 9 and posted 6 assists in the Bundesliga, playing anywhere from central striker to defensive midfield to number 10 or on either wing. His ability to dribble, shoot, earn a foul or pick a pass has been so remarkable, his 1.1 goal creating actions per 90 is only topped by 7 other players in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. That list includes Lionel Messi, Kevin De Bruyne and Neymar. For Germany, he has already made history. Their youngest ever debutant at a major tournament during Euro 2020, he heads to the Middle East with 17 caps to his name. He may have only scored once, but with Flick making it clear Musiala will play a leading role for his nation going forward, that could all be about to change. He is certainly one to watch when the tournament begins. Hansi Flick has to take Moukoko to the World Cup. That was Bild commentator Corny Cooper following the forwards brace in a recent 3-0 win over Bochum. Cooper's wish has come true, with Moukoko heading to Qatar as the youngest player in the entire tournament. He only turns 18 the day the hosts kick off against Ecuador. But the young star is no gimmick addition. He is Borussia Dortmund's top scorer in the Bundesliga on 6 and has hit double figures in the division earlier than anyone else before him. He beats the previous record holder by Leverkusen's Florian Wirtz by almost half a year. Any minutes earned in Qatar would add to his remarkable rise that fans of Football Manager have long predicted. Born in Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon, Moukoko didn't come to Germany until 2014 when aged 10 he left his grandparents to join his father in Hamburg. Straight away his talent piqued the interest of local clubs and he soon joined FC St. Pauli's academy. Moukoko went on to score 23 times in 13 games for D. Kiers Kickers Juniors, alerting Borussia Dortmund to his potential. And it was here that stories began to emerge of a prodigious goal-scoring machine lurking within BVB's youth setup. Sure enough, Moukoko was unstoppable. First appearing for the under-17s aged 13, then for the under-19s at 14, he would go on to total 141 goals and 26 assists in merely 88 appearances at youth level. He's so young and already so good, his under-19 coach Michael Skibber declared, "The boy will one day become a professional. That's as sure as prayer in a church." American sportswear giants Nike clearly felt the same, signing him up to a 10-year deal worth £9 million, one of the biggest ever given to a young athlete. Then, just 1 month after his 15th birthday, Moukoko was promoted to first team training. 11 months later, he made his Bundesliga debut, replacing Erling Haaland in a 5-2 demolition of Hertha Berlin. At 16 years and 1 day old, he became the youngest player ever to appear in the German top flight, a feat he repeated in the Champions League 18 days later. Famed for his technique, speed and smart finishing, Haaland called him the best young player he had ever seen, adding, "Moukokos much better than I was at his age." The German national team were also paying close attention. He first appeared for the under-17s before being promoted to the under-20s in 2020, then the under-21s a year later. Again, records tumbled at Moukoko's feet. Yet despite his astonishing progression, he still only entered the current campaign with 3 senior starts to his name. Last season, Moukoko was limited to 210 minutes of action, something he did not appreciate considering Haaland missed 17 matches across the campaign. Although he had injury problems of his own, reports were circling in German media that Moukoko would not sign a new deal under Marco Rose, a major concern for Die Schwarz-Gelben given his contract expires in 2023. However, in the summer Rose was sacked, Edin Terzic promoted back to head coach and Haaland sold to Manchester City. Although Sebastian Haller was signed from Ajax, the Ivorian forward's campaign is on hold after being diagnosed with a testicular tumour. His replacement Anthony Modeste has only scored twice all season, meaning Terzic has been forced to entrust his teenage sensation with leading the line. And the stats speak volumes for Moukoko's class. Only 4 other forwards in the Bundesliga better his 1.8 shots per 90, while nearly 60% of his efforts are testing the keeper. What's more, his 6 goals have come from less than 770 minutes on the pitch, giving him a return of 0.7 goals per match. Factor in his assists, and Moukoko is involved in more than 1 goal every 90 minutes. He's made a huge step forward, glowed Terzic, following his heroics against Bochum. And just in time for Dortmund, with Bild claiming he will decide his future once he turns 18 and has full control of his salary. But BVB will be anxious to see him accept their contract proposal. Moukoko may have a great relationship with Terzic and be on record for stating he wants to win a Champions League with the club, but things can change very quickly in football. Manchester City, Liverpool, PSG and Real Madrid are reportedly all tracking Moukoko, so a good showing in Qatar could convince them to press ahead with pinching Dortmund's latest diamond. Either way, Moukoko, like Musiala, is living up to the hype. They could have a huge say in Germany shooting for World Cup glory once more. So that was our look at the rise of Moukoko and Musiala. Who are you more excited to watch at the World Cup this year, and what do you make of Germany's chances? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this EFD Explain, let us know what other videos you'd like to see. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.